Oh, right. What up? We are live. It's week 15, fantasy football playoffs. Hopefully you made it. If you didn't, you probably weren't watching the show enough. We got Anthony, we got Nathan here. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just happy to be here as always. Excited to talk some football. Week 1 of the playoffs. Let's win some matchups together and move on.
Okay, so Anthony, you didn't make the SportsEthos playoffs, right?
God no. No, in my team it just didn't work out. It
And
was
then
the
Nathan,
year of the running back, and I went heavy wide receiver. So
yeah, it was the year of the running back. Nathan, you're out too?
Yeah, I'm very much out. I think I was dead last. Mike Evans and Brandon Ayuk in a RB heavy year was not a good start for 16 teams. But
That's not what you want with your first 2 picks, is it? Ooh.
I think it might have been. Or
Well,
Mike Evans missed a bunch of times, so that
no, I had
definitely
Bijan in the first round.
okay,
And I
that
got
makes more
those two
sense.
on the way back.
Yeah, you're the running back. Everyone, I don't know if that's something we can predict for next year when everyone's hyping wide receivers, go to running back. But next year, everyone's going to be hyping running backs because nobody's original. But yeah, so everybody, week 15, we're going to be answering questions. If you're on YouTube, come over to Twitter. Nope, Twitter, come to YouTube. Then you can drop a question. I'll never get that right. And then also join us on Discord. We're also on Blue Sky. I'll be answering questions right after this, up until the kickoff. But right now, yeah, we're going to start previewing Week 15 and hammering away at some questions. Anthony? Anything jump out at you off the gate? You just did our huge preview.
Derrick Henry is going to win people weeks against the Giants defense that was already bad at stopping the run, but now is without Dexter Lawrence for the year after a dislocated elbow. This is the time of year that Derrick Henry typically turns into his Yeti form. The colder it gets, the harder he hits, and nobody wants to tackle a linebacker coming at you every single play. So I expect Derrick Henry to have a monster game. That's, I think, the biggest thing for me is Derrick Henry again could very well be a week winner for those who have him in the playoffs.
I got him in the SportsEthos League. Let's go. His number's it's 105 rushing yards. Do you think he goes over?
Most definitely.
That
was actually my quick pick. Yeah, he's definitely going to go over 100.
Okay, nice, good. It was my big bet. Nathan, you did our wide receiver rankings. What when you were doing those, anything jump out at you? Anyone you thought was higher than they should be, or just from doing the numbers?
Yeah, I was real high on the Thursday night game, and that did not blow over too well. But weather played a bigger impact than I thought it would have, and it was kind of just one of those NFC West rivalry games that stalwarted. I think there were 7 punts in the first quarter. Yeah, just not an ideal fantasy environment, but it happens.
Yeah, that was brutal. Thursday, we were doing our pod. Everyone's asking about the weather. I even got Larry to tweet out something about the weather because he's our weather guy. Everyone go check out Larry Benazzi. He just does the weather every week. He just wrote one up, a couple games with a little impact. But he's like, gave me this whole thing. He's like, weather, it's not going to be that big of an impact. It's first half, just, spattered showers or whatever. And then I turn on the game and it's pouring and nobody can complete a pass. And it's just like, it was such a nightmare.
Yeah, sometimes even the weather's unpredictable. So just like a lot of players' performances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cooper Kupp 0. What about anyone else? Anyone lower than you thought they should be? Like just when you're crunching the numbers.
Let me look real quick. Yeah, I have Marvin Harrison Jr. at wide receiver 33, but I think he could be a bit higher this week if he can avoid Christian Gonzalez for like at least like 5-6 targets. He should be able to beat the Patriots out wide. I think they rank 23rd against outside wide receivers in fantasy points allowed this year, and that's kind of been where Harrison's done his damage at times this year, and it feels like they can get there this week.
Yeah, that's always the toughest part, right? It's like you got this elite corner, Gonzalez, but then the rest of the secondary is terrible. And, it's like, is he going to shadow? Is he just going to line up the right? Will they move him around, maybe into the slot? and it's impossible to predict. But I think also the Pats have been going too high a lot lately, so that might negatively affect Harrison because he's kind of a deep threat guy. But I hate Kyler. Kyler sucks. All right, guys, we're gonna get to your questions. We're just gonna let them build up for a little bit, so then we can kind of rapid fire. But we keep hitting this game. Anthony, what about Malik Neighbors? Is a guy obviously super stud, but like Tommy DeVito's trash, right? We can agree on that.
Yeah, I mean he's exciting. Well, he was exciting last year. I think that was maybe his 15 minutes of fame because it hasn't been good with him in. So no, he's not someone you're excited to see. I do like Malik Neighbors still. He's more of a flex play than kind of the stud wide receiver 1 or even wide receiver 2 he was earlier in the year with Daniel Jones at the helm. But I still think he's someone that you can and probably should play just because the volume is still there. I mean, last week with Drew Lock, who's also not very good, 10 targets, 5 receptions, 79 yards. It's not great. Like I said, flex worthy. So I still like him enough to play him, but it's just tough going all around for Big Blue.
Yeah. Nathan? What do you like when you're like evaluating decisions? So like the Giants, right? Negative game script. Ravens bad pass D. That could shape up for like a good Neighbors game. But also like we've seen with these games where it's 3 and out all the time. They can't get a drive going, and it's just.
Yeah, it's pretty bad for the Giants right now. I think they're projected 13.5 points as a team, and that's the lowest since Kendall Hinton was the QB for the Broncos in the COVID season.
Nice, that draft.
So they're just not going to score points this week. You're banking on a ton of targets, which he could walk out of here with 20 if they're projected to lose by 16.5.
Okay, cool. Okay, and then what's Anthony? My favorite question: what's our get everyone in game? Who's our smash game here?
Our smash game of the week. You think I would think about this before? Good point. I'm trying to think. You so graciously covered some of the 4 p.m. games.
I'd look there.
Look there. For the 1 o'clock games, I think Miami Houston could be a bit more interesting. I know Houston has kind of been disappointing, but I think that game could be a bit interesting just because there's a lot of high key players in there that you're going to play regardless of the situation. But it's definitely Buffalo, Detroit.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I forgot that they were a matchup. I was scrolling through. Yeah, definitely them. I also like Tampa, the Buccaneers and the Chargers as a game where you can get a lot of folks. And those are probably the 2 best games of the week from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah. So Nathan, that's the Bills Lions game. What would you be thinking wide receivers? Like Keon Coleman, I think is going to play, Amari Cooper. Like, are you playing Amari Cooper over Malik Neighbors?
I think this is definitely to get everyone in game. Just the projected point total is skyrocketed above the rest of the league. I think it's at like 54.5.
Jesus, is it? Oh my God. I can't wait.
Yeah, I think I would play Cooper over Neighbors because he got 14 targets last week. Even if Keon eats into a little bit of that, like getting 10 targets against a Lions offense that allows, I think, the 6th most fantasy points to receivers this year.
Yeah, they play a lot of man too, right? Cooper's great versus man. Lions could be up. Yeah. What about Jameson Williams, right? Would you play him over Neighbors?
That would be tough because there's so many mouths to feed in Detroit. And Neighbors, you'd be guaranteed volume.
Yeah.
And I'd say PPR, I'd for sure go Neighbors, but maybe in a standard or half,
That's a good point. Okay, let's just jump into a couple questions here, and then we'll get back to the games, or we'll just do questions. We'll see. Brian. Okay, he also. Oh no, he is in playoffs, so we don't really want to give him good advice. He says, "I'd Cup and Jennings go Thursday. I need to choose between Harrison Jr., Neighbors, and Charbonnet." Right? I was telling him not to play Cup and Jennings, but well, maybe I wasn't. I don't know, Anthony. What are we doing here?
You played. I'm gonna go Charbonnet. He's tremendous. Without Kenneth Walker, like I think this is I think this is no questions asked, really.
Right? He was the RB1 last week. Like, what
Yeah,
are we doing?
I'm gonna go with Charbonnet and not look back.
Right?
He's the floor. He's the floor and the upside, especially since you went with the two Thursday night players, which didn't do as well as we would have hoped.
Yeah.
Charbonnet's everything you can ask for. He's not going to give you another bust, and he can also very well make up for the lost points from Cooper Kupp's goose egg.
Yeah, no brainer, right, Nathan? Right, no brainer. The
Yeah,
only
this
thing maybe
is
Neighbors, maybe because if Neighbors has like 10 for 130 and a touchdown or two.
I still think that's not close. I think Charbonnet is just so consistent. It's the best case scenario for the backfield for fantasy's sake. For Walker to be out, there's just too much volume straight to Charbonnet, and the Packers allow the fourth most receptions to running backs this year, so he can get there even if they're dropping back a lot.
Okay, I like that. All right, Brian, you heard it. Play Marvin Harrison Jr. Anthony, you're muted.
Sorry, thanks. I have a newborn that's a little upset over here, so I'm trying not to get that in the airwaves. But Brian asked us to pick two as well, just deep down there, so we don't have to come back to it later. Just stick on it now. So Charbonnet and I'd probably go with Harrison because it's a better offense and a better quarterback.
No, you gotta go Neighbors here. You gotta go. You gotta trust the volume.
I don't know. It's maybe I'm just a Giants fan who's down in the dumps, but I think I would go Harrison over Neighbors.
Where did you have them ranked, Nathan?
I had Neighbors as 27th and Harrison as 33rd.
Okay, so well, with Brian, we don't really want to help you that much. Not gonna lie. Brian does have Thursday pod. So, okay, Dino Bekarovic, AR or Jameis Winston. I just love QB questions. I don't know why. Anthony. So we got Anthony Richardson playing Denver, Jameis Kansas City. Both two really good defenses. One guy's gonna run it. One guy's gonna throw it.
I'd probably lean Anthony Richardson. I think the rushing floor is safer. Winston can always throw like 2 or 3 interceptions. He could combat it with a few touchdowns, but I'd go AR, I think.
Oh, wow, we're gonna be opposed all day here. I'd go Jameis. I mean, KC's kind of been getting thrown against, right? Oh my God, Bryce Young threw against them. I mean, Herbert didn't have a great game, but the defense is kind of breaking down a bit. I love Jameis. I love Jameis Cleveland to win. I think Cleveland's going to pull up the upset because that's what Jameis does. He does whatever you don't expect him to do. Nathan, what do you any thoughts there?
I worry about Winston if Njoku gets rolled out on a game time decision. I would probably trust AR more with healthier weapons off of a bye. Denver's off of a bye as well, but that game has a lot of AFC playoff implications too, and I think the Colts will bring their best.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, Njoku said he's going to try and play, but the hamstring.
He hasn't practiced all week, so
yeah, that sounds terrible. Don't play Njoku. Okay, and then, Nathan, stick with you here. So we got Drake London, Lad McConkey, Charbonnet, pick 2. I mean, they said Lad's going to probably play. This is tough.
This is tough. Charbonnet's easy for me.
Okay.
I still think that's easy. London, I have ranked higher. The Raiders are super banged up on defense, and they just lost Max Crosby for the year. And if Kirk Cousins has time to throw with no one really coming off the edge for the Raiders, London will be open more and the offense will as a whole. And Raiders also allow the 25th most fantasy points to slot receivers this season.
So so that's not a lot.
25th. 25th worst against slot receivers. My fault.
I hate doing that. Something, right? You're like bottom 5, top 5. Yeah, that's something I flip it all the time.
I do like Ladd here too, but coming off an injury with Herbert also coming off an injury, there's a floor there that's probably a lot more riskier, whereas London's been seeing the volume consistently on a weekly basis.
It's tough. What's the better matchup, right? Ladd, Chargers playing Tampa, terrible pass defense. Atlanta playing Raiders, terrible defense, especially without Crosby, it might just fall apart.
Yeah. I think you can be equally as excited in the matchup. I would just trust the health of London.
And I like that. Yeah, trust Drake. Drake's great. Ladd's great. But yeah, Ladd's a little banged up. I had to miss last week. I just worry, is Kirk going to finally throw a touchdown pass? Jesus. Okay. All right. And this is you. Go Pack, go. Hey, guys, I have a huge decision to make. James Conner or Tyreek Hill? Oh, my God. Conner's projected 2.3 points higher, and DeMarcado's out. That doesn't really matter. DeMarcado, isn't he in Green Bay?
It's no, Amari DeMarcado. He was in this might be his second year if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he's in Arizona.
Oh yeah, Benson's more the RB2 anyway. Regardless, I don't think that really factors in. What are we making our decision here? Tyreek finally looks good. I think you've been predicting it every week for like 4 weeks.
Yeah, I nailed it last week. Best game of the season from a fantasy perspective, at least. That is, I can't believe you can't play both of these guys. You must have.
But says it's,
I am.
Says he's lost on this decision. So.
Yeah, I think I would lean Connor for the safety of the volume and the bell cow running back. But man, benching either one of them is tough. But I would lean in starting James Conner if this is your decision.
All right, Nathan. I mean, right, we got Connor at home, which is nice. But that Dolphins offense looks great, and Tyreek's, Waddle's hurt too. Waddle's banged up. I think that might flip it for me.
Yeah, this is a really good problem to have here. Tyreek Hill's my wide receiver 6 on the week, but I still think I might go Connor here.
Wow.
I think it's a lot safer with Arizona having the 3rd highest implied team total on the week, and
nice. I didn't know that.
The 6.5 point favorites. Tyreek Hill, it's just dangerous, especially if Waddle can go full tilt, or if Jonnu Smith has a game with Achane doing work on out wide as well. It's just a lot tighter target share in Miami this year.
I also think if this is your decision, you've probably got like a top-notch team, right? You're probably like the 1 or the 2 seed. Maybe there's no buys in this scenario. You got to think that this team is projected to win, and Connor's the safer play, I think, to get a decent amount of points. Though I think they'll both probably have a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I like to go back to my favorite thing, right? Which one would you be more mad about, right? You play Connor, Tyreek goes off, but as long as Connor's okay, I don't think you're going to be mad either way, but yeah, Connor's a safe play, right? He's using the passing game. It's PPR, right? He's probably get 3-4 catches, 70 yards, probably a touchdown. Tyreek, man, benching Tyreek just sounds crazy after he goes off.
I know,
and Waddle's banged up. So I can't help you. I don't know what to do. I would probably play Tyreek just because start your studs. Like, let's not overthink it. But James Conner's, his floor is a penthouse.
I think they're both studs.
Yeah.
That's the tough part. I want to know what the rest of your team looks like. Throw that in here at some point.
Yeah. Let's see your super team. You're probably just going to win the title. It doesn't matter. All right. Buck Owski says, hey, fellas, need 1 for flex. Chuba Hubbard, Jordan Addison, Ramondre Stevenson, or Malik Neighbors. This is probably easy, right?
Yes. Chuba Hubbard is a monster play the rest of this. He's locked into a top 10 running back, if not higher, the rest of the year. I don't see a scenario where you don't play Chuba Hubbard ever at this point.
I agree. Well, just the devil's advocate, right? Addison is going off, right? He's having multiple touchdown games. It's a nice little matchup.
Just talk up some other players. Addison is definitely a good play this week as well. Like you said, I like Ramondre Stevenson too this week for sure. He could find his way to like 17 carries, 80, 85 yards, and a touchdown or 2. That wouldn't surprise me. A couple of receptions. You've got a lot of good players, but I think Hubbard is just his situation. What he's done all season is just the right answer. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Go Pack Go says He's got Jaden. He's got Saquon, Chase Brown, Nico, Jesus. So we're probably 8-10 man lead, but yeah, that's Saquon, Chase Brown,
or a
Nico.
dynasty league. This could also be a dynasty league. You'll see some top heavy teams, just as teams buy and sell at the deadline every year.
How do you have Nico? How do you have Nico, Justin Jefferson, and Tyreek?
Man, that is a stellar team. There's a team like that in one of my dynasty leagues that is just absolutely loaded. They haven't won in a few years, but they are loaded.
That's the problem when you have a team like this. It's so stacked. It's like you're supposed to win. It's more harrowing when you don't.
And you always pick the one stud that had a bad week.
Yeah. All right. B growing stuff says, all right, Nathan, this is for you. Alvin Kamara or Charbonnet? I think this is easy money.
Yeah, Zach Charbonnet all day. Just too guaranteed.
Okay, let's play. Who would we start over Charbonnet?
Derrick Henry.
Okay. What about Brian Robinson Jr.?
No.
Okay, Devon A-Chain.
Yes.
Simply for the ceiling.
Let's go. Breece Hall?
No. I'm starting Charbonnet.
Okay. We're Bijan Robinson.
Yes.
Bijan. Okay. All right. We're not.
I'm going Bijan.
Okay. So, man, we're high in Charbonnet. Okay. Sorry. Dino said add Thielen to the question. So, okay, what's this? So, London Lad or Thielen? I don't think Thielen's cracking that London Lad, right?
No, I like Thielen this week, but no.
Yeah.
But it's certainly interesting. Like that is the range, like Nathan said, that Thielen's probably in this week.
Yeah, he's probably just a little below, right?
Yeah, just a shade below.
Okay. Jeremiah Eldridge says start 2 PPR. Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, Isaiah Pacheco, Jonathan Taylor. Ooh, this is tough because Pollard's a little banged up. Breece missed a game. Taylor hasn't been great off the bye. Pacheco's still ramping up. Anthony, what are we doing here? This is a tough one.
I'm still gonna start Pollard. I think he's probably got the best matchup of the bunch.
Breece.
Although, yeah, but Breece is hurt. I would really try to stay away from Breece if I can.
I agree.
I'm trying to decide between Jonathan Taylor and Pacheco. I'd probably go Jonathan Taylor because Pacheco's still kind of working his way back. I guess I'd go with Pollard and Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. Yeah, Nathan, you too?
I might lean Pacheco here. I could see a bunch of scoring opportunities. It could be a little slick in Kansas City. I think there was like a 60% chance of rain.
Right. Yeah, Larry said gusty. A lot of side gust winds.
Yeah, if James Winston gets sloppy with 2 of his top targets out, could be a bunch of nice field position for KC.
Okay, yeah. You know what? You're right. When we were the AR Winston, I forgot about the wind. I would go Richardson. I don't want Jameis in the wind, although he probably doesn't even know it's windy.
I was thinking about this too. If there's going to be weather in that game, this is absolutely Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, easy money. So yeah, if it's wind is like the one thing you can't throw with. Although again, Jameis might not even know it's windy. He's like, I don't care about wind. So yeah, Pacheco, Pollard, Pacheco. I don't know. How do you bench Breece and Jonathan Taylor? Probably your first, second round pick. But the Pollard matchup's great. I wouldn't trust Breece. I would go Pollard and Taylor. But if it's windy, Pacheco might have 25 carries, right? Like, jeez, don't mess around. This isn't for our league, don't worry. Still, Brian, I don't want you to win. Go Neighbors. What was this? Neighbors.
I don't know, but go Malik Neighbors. Let's go Giants.
All right, Carlos Bob says pick 2. Nathan, this is you. Wide receiver question. Mike Evans, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson. Jesus, is this easy or hard?
It's kind of hard. I think that Mike Evans and AJ Brown are kind of in a tier above Garrett Wilson with how well Devontae Adams is playing. It's a good matchup for Wilson versus Jacksonville. But I still go with the talent. AJ Brown's going to get the squeaky wheel treatment. I think Kellen Moore.
What's the squeaky wheel? What's the squeaky wheel treatment?
the squeaky wheel gets the grease. He was.
You've never heard
there was
that?
all the concerns about him getting the football and the passing game. Hurts just hasn't been throwing the ball downfield, but if Brown gets an uptick, it's game over with 10 targets because he just hasn't seen that volume all year.
Yeah, I agree. AJ Brown's a must start, right? Wide receivers throws a temper tantrum, he gets fed, right? He's going to have probably 2 targets in the first drive, even though Hurts hasn't. I think he's had like 120 passing yards like the last 2 games, which is a joke. But you got to play AJ. But then I don't know, Anthony. What do you? Mike Evans, Chargers defense, which is elite. Garrett Wilson, Jags defense, which is terrible. I mean, that just seems too easy for me.
I think Mike Evans is such a stud. I think I would go Mike Evans over Garrett Wilson. I know Garrett Wilson is a top 10 receiver on the year, but having Garrett Wilson, he is one of my guys. But I have him in a few leagues, and it's low key actually been like a really disappointing wide receiver 8. Like he hasn't finished inside. Like he's usually like a wide receiver like 15 to like 20, 25. With just like a couple of spike weeks. So it's kind of, it almost feels like fool's gold a little bit. Whereas Mike Evans he's just so good. He's just so reliable. That I'd go Evans and AJ Brown too.
I know the Chargers play a lot of too high, right? Harbaugh doesn't want to beat over the top. That's Evans' specialty. So if he's not getting the deep ball, right, he's going to have to be like, 6 for 72, has to score. I mean, Wilson should have 2 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. Rodgers just throwing terrible balls to him. So I'd go AJ and Wilson, but it's close because I do love me some Mike Evans.
Yeah, all 3 are good plays. Like it's I think all 3 can have very good weeks, but that's just my preference.
Yeah. Benching Wilson after what was he in your wide receiver rankings? 5th?
Yeah, 5. Yeah, I think he was 5.
I mean,
he's been 8, so I'm not. I consider that a win.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know they traded for Devontae Adams. Before we get to the second part of the question, anybody watching on Twitter, come over to YouTube, drop us a question. We're going to get to them all before we wrap. And then if not, check us out on Discord. Also, we're on Blue Sky. Worst case, you can always comment Twitter. I will get to it all. All right, Nathan, this is for you. Kamara or Dowdle? Again, this seems easy money.
I like Dowdle here. And I think it's pretty confidently. I don't trust the Saints offense with Jake Haener. The Cowboys have shown an ability to move the ball still. And Dowdle should get 20 touches against one of the worst run defenses in the league.
Right? Yeah, Dowdle's been killing it. I mean, Kamara seems like he's breaking down a bit. Anthony, are you a Kamara guy?
Nah, not over Dowdle this week. I think Kamara is going to probably get so much volume that he'll be worth it, but Dowdle has been fantastic. And the Panthers have been awful at stopping the run. So I just think that it's really that simple.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like average. They're giving up like 172 rushing yards a game, which is like 23 worse than the second worst team. It's really bad. Go Pack, go, man! You're confusing us here. I have Chase Brown. Please pick 2. Two what? You gotta restart here. We had your Tyreek or Connor. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, if you send us a reset, on the whole question, we'll get to you. But yeah, I love Chase Brown. I have Chase Brown in 2 playoff leagues, so let's go Chase Brown.
I mean, if you're doing top 10, I don't know, the best backup running backs, right? It's him and Bucky. Bucky Sharps.
Chase Brown Chase Brown was always going to be the starter in my mind.
Yeah, but when like those running back rooms that were confusing at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Chase Brown and Bucky are the big 2. Tyrone Tracy, but he's definitely third on that list compared to the other 2. Chase Brown might be a league winner too. I can't imagine starting more than 7, 8, maybe 10 running backs over him.
Charbonnet or Chase Brown? What are we doing?
Oh man, I think that's probably. That's an excellent question. I am gonna go with Chase round.
But
But like they're probably like if I were to do like running back rankings and like list them all out, they would probably be like back to back or within like one spot. And I
4 or
think Chuba
5.
Hubbard, like I think those three are like just so close together, but they're all like in like the top 10 for me. For
Okay,
sure.
okay. Let's move on. Okay. All right, Nathan, this is all you. Ladd or Keenan Allen? I mean, oof.
I think I have Ladd here, but this is such a Keenan Allen game.
Oh, Ridley. Sorry. Ladd, Ridley, or Keenan.
I have Ladd and Ridley pretty close in my rankings. I think Ladd is just despite the injury concerns, I would trust the quarterback play of Justin Herbert over Will Levis any day. So I would take Ladd over Ridley for sure. Keenan Allen, I was lower on in my rankings earlier in the week because of the opportunity that Rome Odunze got last week. Just kind of a squeeze. And if the offense is only able to throw the ball 24 times in some games, there's just not enough volume to trust Keenan Allen. But Minnesota allows the second most wide receiver fantasy points this season, and they gave up those short, quick routes that Keenan Allen is trademarked for.
Okay. It's
So
tough.
can't go wrong, but I would go Ladd.
Okay. Ladd, trust your stud versus Tampa. I like that. Okay. You're 2 seed. Congrats. Okay. I like Connor with the pass. Oh, we already got to this. I don't know. Yeah, this pick 2. Man, we're trying to figure it out, but it's still the morning. And there's a lot going on. Ishan says, need 2 wide receivers and a flex. Okay, let's stick with you, Nathan. And we got your wide receivers. Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Drake London, Amari Cooper. So we're just picking 3 because it's, you know. Can we rule anyone out? Does anyone just reverse jump off the page?
I think despite the get everyone in angle, Amari Cooper is just a tier below these guys just because they've been doing it for longer this season. It's just harder to trust them on a 1-game sample versus these guys.
Okay.
For me, DK Metcalf is the next on the chopping block.
Okay.
I think it's pretty handily. I like London. I already talked about him earlier. Terry McLaurin was getting out-targeted by Noah Brown in recent weeks, but he's now on injured reserve. Saints have nobody playing defensive back right now. Should be a concentrated offense straight through McLaurin and Zach Ertz, really. And then Garrett Wilson, you already talked about against the Jags. Can get home easily with 2 touchdowns in this game if things go his way.
Okay, so yeah, we reverse engineered it. Andy, you like this? So we go in Garrett, McLaurin, and Drake?
Yeah, I think that's a good process.
Okay. Well, what's the fear? The fear is Cooper gets like 10, 12 targets again, scores on Detroit, and then is now Josh Allen's wide receiver 1 and isn't looking back, right?
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah, it's always possible. But no, I like Nathan's process there. I'll co-sign on it.
Okay. So 12-man league. Jesus. 12-man league, you had that team? I don't think you got to worry about anything. You got Saquon. Okay, Hurts. KJ Frederick says, Hurts or Caleb? Pitts D scares me. Yeah, it would scare me too. Thielen. Okay, so Anthony, start with the first one. Hurts or Caleb?
Hurts.
Oh yeah, didn't we? We had a big Caleb fight last week. God, he was so bad. But it was Caleb Levis, and they both sucked.
Yeah, I think Caleb was probably definitely better than Will Levis. But yeah, they're both pretty bad. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the much better player. The matchup doesn't really matter when there's this large of a gap in talent, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. So Hurts, the passing yard. I guess he's been running and getting the tush push. The low passing yards doesn't scare you.
No, I feel like he's been running it a little more too, outside of just like the tush push. I feel like he's been running it a bit more, and I don't have like the numbers to back that claim up. Just watching the games, that's what it looks like to me. So, no, I don't have any hesitation about this decision.
Okay, well, Nathan, you're just talking about the Vikings pass D, right? They're giving up yards in bunches. Do you like Caleb here? Is this 3-headed monster?
Caleb had 340 and 2 scores against the Vikings a few weeks back. So he's already done it once. It's just a matter of will Brian Flores correct, what worked against him. And I would kind of put some fear into that because I trust Flores as a defensive coordinator to to make adjustments. And I just like it's hard not to trust Hurts. The floor has to be so much higher with the rushing upside and the chance to score on the goal line with tush pushes. The Bears are only projected 18.5 points, I think, as a team, and the Eagles are projected 24.5, favored by 5.5. Yeah, I would just trust the better offense here.
So but what defensively, which one scares you more? Right, we know Minnesota's going to blitz, but their secondary sucks. Pittsburgh's D is pretty much good all the way around.
Yeah, I would trust the game environment that will be produced in Minnesota. Just trailing all day against a good team. Yeah.
So you like Caleb here? You like Caleb over Hurts?
No, I would trust Hurts more, despite
Okay.
the good matchup.
Okay.
I would take the floor with the rushing production.
Okay, I like that. Especially you're going to get the AJ Brown bump too. So I don't. Okay, and then Thielen or Garrett Wilson?
Garrett Wilson. I like Thielen a lot, but just talent wise, against a worse defense, I would take Garrett Wilson here for sure.
Okay, I agree. Okay, Anthony, last part: Ferguson or Auden?
Otten. Ferguson has been super disappointing with Cooper Rush. Let me actually, because I wrote a little bit about it. Let me see. Yeah, he hasn't finished in the top 10 since week 6. He was always safe because he was kind of Dak's second option. Dak was able to give him the ball. It's just not really working out with Cooper Rush for whatever reason. While Cade Otton has faded a bit, he's still going to be an integral part of that offense. And it's a better offense than Dallas with a better quarterback. So yeah, I'm going to start Otton over Ferguson.
Is it fair to you? Because it was good because Otton was like kind of the wide receiver one with Evans out now, but then Jalen McMillan 2 touchdowns. Maybe he's breaking out. So could Otton just be phased out of the offense?
It's entirely possible. I like the odds of Otton having a better game than Ferguson better this week. Although, I mean, they're close. Like, this is a good question.
Okay, I think Chargers are really good versus tight ends, though.
They might be, but I mean,
it's more so Panthers are the league worst against fantasy tight ends this year.
No, the league worst. So Nathan, you're saying Ferguson?
I think there's a chance that he could just be a PPR scam this week.
Yeah. Okay, Ferguson. Sorry, Anthony, you suck.
No, I know. I might switch my pick too, realizing that the Panthers are that bad. I like to pick on the Chiefs for tight end, but maybe we should pick on the Panthers a bit more.
Okay. Jedi Genetics says pick. Was there a previous question here?
He's got a question right below, so maybe he kind of just hit send by accident.
Full send. Yeah. Okay, pick 2. Full PPR. So we got Tyreek, Devontae Adams, Adam Thielen, JSN. Oof. All right, Nathan. Pick 2. This is tough. I rule out Thielen. He's just not in that league.
Yeah. I'd probably go Tyreek and Devontae here. Devontae's been really consistent. I already spoke about Hill against Houston. Also adding with Azeez Al-Shir out, that favors the Dolphin style of offense of just hitting short and over the middle, just not having that tackling machine across the middle for the Dolphins receivers to deal with. And Devontae's just been, even through like some of the miscues with Rodgers, he's still getting home as a fantasy wideout. I think he's my wide receiver 15 on the week.
Okay. What's JSN?
JSN is wide receiver 17, right behind him.
Okay. So Anthony says he already started Cup and got that goose egg. So I guess he needs ceiling plays. Would this make you? Does that stick you with Tyreek and Hill? I mean, they got a higher ceiling than JSN, but JSN's just been so steady.
I know. I love JSN. I'm definitely starting Hill. I think. Oh man, the Adams matchup is just so good, especially with Jacksonville just phoning it in after Trevor Lawrence is done for the year. JSN is just so good. I think I'd go JSN by a hair, but Adams is definitely a good play this week too. But if it was me, I'd go Hill and JSN.
Okay. Let's say if Cup had a big game, would that mean you want JSN? Because I feel like his floor is just assured, right? He's catching every ball that gets thrown to him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's missed like 2 targets. He's like 27 of his last 29 or something crazy. So it's just hard. But I mean, I just think Jacksonville, you have to start your wide receivers reverse the Jags.
Another thing too that wasn't in before I finished my rankings. Green Bay is without their starting slot corner this week, so things could be a little more opened up for JSN.
Oh no, is Jair going to play?
Jair is also out.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Jason looked that much better. It's tough. Like, Nathan has them almost back to back. Like, they're right there.
It is tough. I can't bench Adams versus the Jags, and so it's just that's just a rule. But JSN's got a sledgehammer, so I don't know. All right, Furious, my man. I already said, yeah, both you're helping week in, week out. Got any more thoughts? All right, he wants it all. What are you guys doing here? So 10 team, full PPR. So 1-1, Neighbors, Judy, Cooper, JMO. All right. I thought this was tough. I think I said you have to play Judy with Tillman out and Njoku like banged up. And now with the wind, I'm rethinking it a little. Nathan, where do you got everyone ranked here?
Yeah, I think Judy I was the highest on, but this was pre-weather concerns. He was my wide receiver 20. I think this offense is super concentrated right now, and Winston just loves to drop back. Like you said, Winston may not even care that it's windy out there and still just chuck it 30 times, half of them to Judy. And Neighbors is my wide receiver 27, and he's the next closest. Cooper is the wide receiver 39.
Wow, you got Cooper that far down, and this is it just because they're getting healthy?
Yeah, it's just more of the game environment and then with I'm sorry, I misinterpreted your question, but yes, with everyone off of bye weeks and more people healthy, it is a much more stacked receiver ranking.
Okay, I love Cooper this week. Anthony, what do you do here? I think Jameson Williams we can drop, right? It's just Neighbors, Judy, and Cooper.
Probably. Yeah. I was looking. Cooper had 14 targets last week.
I know.
I didn't realize it was that many.
It was more than all of his previous games combined as a Bill.
Yeah, holy smokes. Geez, yeah. The weather's scary in Cleveland. I think didn't Judy come back down to earth last week or the week before a little bit?
Well, he did have 250, but he's still hitting 80 in a tutty every game.
I'd probably go. Neighbors is just going to get.
You know what? Cooper has to jump in here. The Chiefs haven't allowed a 100-yard receiver all season, and seeing that this is a 10-team league, you probably need more upside than that. So I would go Cooper with the 54.5-point total for the Bills here.
That's what I was thinking. I had Cooper, and then the Judy, yeah. Chiefs are great versus the wide receiver ones, but it's just tough because Judy's going to get the target with the win. So Neighbors
I'll go
kind of
Cooper
safe.
And Neighbors. Yeah, I'm going Cooper and Neighbors.
Okay, all right, Furious. We're going to keep flipping it on you. Cooper, Neighbors. We're worried about the wind, and I don't know.
We're called the Sunday Tinker for a reason.
Yeah, we do like to tinker. All right, QB question. This is really what I look for. Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels. Let's go. Anthony, what are we doing? How could you ever bench Joe Burrow right now? All he does is throw for 300 and 3 touchdowns every game. But if you were, would it be Jaden Daniels on a bye versus the terrible Saints?
I can't. Oh man, it almost feels like you can't bench either. But I can't bench Joe Burrow. I can't bench Joe Burrow right now. I'd go Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. So ceiling, floor, or does Burrow have both? Does Daniels have both? Is it just like a 2 towers in Dubai?
Daniels probably has the floor because of his rushing ability. Joe Burrow's just been so good all season long. You can't bench Joe Burrow right now.
Can't bench Joe Burrow. Nathan, do you agree?
I think this is one of those instances where 4-point passing touchdowns matter, and I would go Daniels over Burrow in a 4-point touchdown passing league.
Okay. And then maybe also, who else do you have? Like, obviously, if you chase, you're doing Burrow. But maybe if you got McLaurin, you go for the Daniel stack. So, but yeah, I mean, that's the worst, right? When you probably took Burrow early, fourth, fifth round, took Daniels late, and then it's just, you don't know what to do each week.
Yeah, I traded Josh Allen for Henry in a league that I had Jaden Daniels late.
Yeah, well,
That's a
smart
smash.
until 2 weeks ago. All right, Mega Brick dodged a bullet by sitting Purdy for Goff today. What did we tell you, Mega Brick? I forget. Did we like Goff or Purdy? Because I know I really like Purdy. So hopefully, you I don't know if you listen to us or not. Fortunately, you started Jennings. Yeah, that's Brian's fault. Brian would say Jennings, and we tried to tell him. My opponent has Nuka, Kittle play. I'm playing from behind. Okay. Is there a question? We'll get to. Okay. He says, so full PPR, Hunter Henry, Kate Otten. I think this is just easy. Hunter Henry, right? We don't like that Otten matchup, although Anthony did a little bit. But Henry, I think, leading the Pats in yards, leading him in targets, probably playing from behind on the road. Hunter Henry all day, right?
Yeah, Hunter Henry's the Patriots' #1 receiver in pretty much every statistical category. Yeah, he's a good option. He's not a great option, but neither is Otten. But I like Hunter Henry better this week for sure.
Okay. Mega Brick, let me know. What did we tell you? Did we tell you Purdy or Goff? Because I know I love Purdy, but also Goff at home you have to play. So I just love both. What would you guys have done on Thursday at, say, 5 p.m.?
If I would have known it was raining, I would have went Goff.
Okay.
But it just depends if you knew that or not.
We knew it, but then Larry was like, it's not a big deal. And I was like, all right, it's not a big deal. And it was a big deal. But you never can tell. But, good. Maybe he waited up until and then saw it game time when it was pouring. All right. They stick with you here. Pacheco, Rashad White. Bucky looks like he's going to play. But was it last week when he makes 4 carries? Pacheco, we know, is going to get worked up more and more, especially with the wind. I mean, this is probably pretty easy, right?
Yeah, I'd go Pacheco. Go with the guy that's on an uptrend, not a guy that's on a downtrend and needs an injury to kind of prop himself back up.
Yeah, I think Rashad White was like the wide receiver 4 last week too. He was great, but Bucky's gonna go. All right, Nathan, any floor ceiling here? Anything jump out at you?
I would go Pacheco, probably just for the same reason as before, just potential short fields for KC and in a wet day for Winston.
Yeah, you can't emphasize how when the wind's bad and they're just running Pacheco, like he might have 25 carries, and then if he breaks one, he might have 125. He might only score. So like the ceiling Pacheco game with the wind could be 150, or it's not that windy. Bucky gets hurt again, and Rashad White has 150 all-purpose yards. It's fantasy football. We can only do so much. All right, Bryce. Flex one. Aaron Jones, Scary Terry, DJ Moore. Ooh, all right, Nathan, what are we doing here? Aaron Jones has kind of come back a bit. Terry, after the bye week, he said no Noah Brown. Maybe he gets the target share up. And then DJ Moore against the Vikings pass team.
Yeah, I'd probably go Terry McLaurin here. But Aaron Jones might be close against Chicago. Chicago's really bad at defending the run. Probably a safer floor there with Jones, but bigger ceiling for Terry this week.
Okay, Anthony, what about you? Does DJ Moore, he had 2 back-to-back weeks, I think 100 yards before last week's stinker versus the Niners, but that was kind of a one-off.
Yeah, I definitely rule out DJ Moore. Can't. You just can't trust it. And then, I mean, I might start Aaron Jones and Scary Terry and bench Pacheco if that's an option.
I guess it would be, yeah. Okay.
But if we're picking between, I just like the volume of the bell cow running back a bit more. So I would go with Aaron Jones.
Jones isn't always bell cow, right? They got Akers. I think 2 weeks ago, Jones only had 5 carries. He's also been fumbling, or maybe it's 3 weeks ago, but he's looked better recently. So
I mean, from week 7 on, his carry count, Aaron Jones has been 14, 19, 21, 17, 15, 22, 5, 13.
okay, yeah.
So
So ignore the
it's not.
5.
Yeah, so I mean, other than the 5, he's been the maybe not bell cow, but
No, that's bell cow.
certainly
That's bell. That's a cow, full cow, and you can run
yeah,
on the Bears too, right? So okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I would go Aaron Jones over Scary Terry, but I might go Scary Terry over Pacheco if that's an option.
Okay. Well, last segment, Bryce. All right. Last Rashad, Devontae, Tank. Okay. So Tank, probably Tank Dell or Tank Bigsby, right? Two tanks. What a league. Nathan, anyone jump out at you? I'm Thielen. Thielen probably.
Yeah, I think Thielen is definitely a tier above the rest. Safer floor and ceiling. Bryce Young just has a different level of trust with Thielen. Like he's just able to hit different throws that he won't make with other targets out there. He could be a wide receiver 2 minimum rest of the way with 10 targets a game. And I think Rashad White probably has the safest volume here. While Irving is playing, he's banged up, and we saw him get pulled after one drive last week. Something similar could happen. Sean Tucker didn't even get that much involved. They just decided to let Rashad White handle 20 touches, I think, in this game. So I would trust him.
Pick 2. All right. Well, does it matter? Tank Dell, Tank Bigsby.
I would like to thank Bigsby a lot more.
Okay.
I think he had like 18 for 50 and a score last week or something
That's true.
like that.
He did score. Okay.
If he gets a similar volume this week, it could be. It is notable for sure, but I don't think it touches White.
And then Jalen Warren's my guy. I love him. He's been so explosive lately, but Najee's still, as Anthony likes to say, the bell cow. Anthony, what jumps out at you here? Anyone other than Thielen?
Thielen is definitely the best play. Devonta Smith, I think, is just the best player on the board. And seeing as the other 3 are kind of like backup running backs, that's so tough. He's not getting a ton of targets. I'd probably go with either Smith or Rashad White because you could play the angle that maybe Bucky doesn't make it through the full game again.
Sure, but I just find I hate playing that game. I'm always wrong. It's like flipping a coin and it's 10 in a row.
Yeah, it's not great, but he's certainly still involved.
Big upside play for sure. I don't think Bucky's getting 25 carries. So, all right, we got Bryce. That was you got like 8 segments there. You're done. I'm kidding. Falcons or Chiefs D. Also have Eagles D on my bench. Okay. Defense. Nathan, what are we doing here? So Falcons, Chiefs. Chiefs get those interceptions, those pick sixes.
That's what I'm thinking. If you want like a potential like defensive score, I think the Chiefs is definitely where you would get it from. The Eagles though too, 5.5 point favorites against Pittsburgh with no George Pickens.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson did not look good throwing the football without Pickens out there. I think he had like 150 yards or something like that. Can't go wrong, but I would take the elements playing into the Chiefs' favor with a banged up offense.
Yeah, Jameis with the wind. It's defense. We don't really care. Jedi Genetics. What a cool name. Thanks, guys. Insightful defense matchups. Okay, thank you. Okay, more Charbs. Anthony, Aaron Jones, or Bucky. This is right in the Charb zone. I think, are we Charbs just above?
Yeah, Charbs is still above these guys, especially because Bucky's coming off an injury. I do like Aaron Jones a lot, as I just talked about, but I mean, Charbonnet is just on a different level when Ken Walker's out.
Okay. Matchup wise, do we really like that Seattle? I think Green Bay's been really good against running backs, but you said they're bad receiving backs.
Yeah, 4th most receptions and 6th most receiving yards to running backs on the season. And Charbonnet's averaged 5 targets or 5 receptions in his 3 starts.
Can't go wrong there. Okay, so we're saying Sharps at Aaron Jones or Bucky. Aaron Jones because Bucky's just injury.
Yeah, that's how I view it. I'd go Sharps, Jones, then Bucky.
Okay, all right. Chubby Goat 8. You guys and your names. Hello, I've gotten a different answer every time for this one. Okay, not from us. From who? Who else are you talking to? I'll get them. All right, Jalen Warren, Keon Coleman, Romeo Dobbs, Xavier Leggett. So we got Dobbs back from a concussion, but that wide receiver room is just chaos. The Jaden Reed goose egg. Leggett is pretty nice with Thielen. Jalen Warren, Keon Coleman back. All right, Anthony. Keon Coleman's out, right? Just
yeah, hard to trust him. Am I crazy for wanting to say Xavier Leggett here?
You're not crazy, but Nathan, where do you got them ranked? Dobbs and Leggett. It's got to be like 58 and 65.
Yeah, Dobbs is down there. He should be lower. He's at 41. Leggett is at 50, and Coleman.
Oh, he has no Coleman. He's back. He hasn't played.
He's just I wouldn't trust Coleman here. Dobbs is so after doing the Sunday night preview. In my research I found that Seattle they ranked first in passing defense against non-play action plays, but 31st against play action plays.
Jesus.
And Jaden Reed has been by far the most targeted wideout on play action plays this year. But Christian Watson has been equally successful, and Romeo Dobbs has been kind of left out on play action this season.
Okay. What about Jalen Warren? That's great. That's a stat of the year. Jalen Warren, though, right? He's got the good floor, right? He's probably gonna get 4 catches, especially if they're down. Maybe some, check down city with the pressure. Get some, 8-9 carries, 40 yards. Do you just take Warren, take that floor, 10 points? Maybe he scores.
Yeah, I probably would because just he could become a bigger receiving threat. They could just look at them in the short, flat screen game with limited options out wide. Just get it to your best players in open space and see what they can do.
Okay. So we've gone almost an hour here, but we're going to get to everyone's questions. You guys good to go for a little longer?
Yep.
Okay, great. We got lots of people watching. So anyone on Twitter, come over to YouTube, drop us a question. Check us our Discord too. Right, lots of action. This is the time of year, right? Don't guess. Let us guess for you. Bryce says Tank Dell. So Tank Dell, we like Bigsby over Dell, so that makes that even easier. Gray matter. Jake Ferguson, Dalton Kincaid. Okay. Tight end battle. Anthony, you were low on Ferguson, but once we got that Carolina tight end stat, we like him a little bit more. But Dalton Kincaid, just get everyone in game, back from injury. I don't know how the lines are versus tight end, but what are we doing? I love Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, I like Dalton Kincaid. I don't love Dalton Kincaid. That matchup, that Carolina stat is really like that's really eating at me now. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, Nathan. I think that I think I'll Kincaid by a whisker, I guess.
Okay. Nathan, what about you? This is tough. I love Kincaid, but I don't like trusting guys back from injury.
Yeah, I would go Ferguson here. The matchup is just better, even though it's a get everyone in game. Kincaid first came back against Detroit defense that's only allowed 2 double-digit fantasy scores all year. They did allow one last week to Tucker Kraft with 340 and a touchdown, but the ceiling isn't too high there. And I would take a PPR merchant wink out of Ferguson in a great matchup.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. Kincaid. Never mind. All right. So Shakir or Mike Evans, right? Shakir just beasted. He's kind of the co-wide receiver 1 with a great spot. Evans is the wide receiver 1. I don't love the spot so much. Where do we got them, Nathan?
Yeah, it's tough. Shakir's just it took 6 touchdowns from Josh Allen for him to get one for the first time since week 3.
Okay.
And with Cooper getting so much volume in his first game back, and Keon Coleman's a great scoring vertical threat. Kincaid back in the mix in the red zone. It just feels like the opportunities could dwindle in a hurry for Shakir, whereas Evans should be more locked in as the alpha target, and the spike week from McMillan last week should be more of an anomaly.
Okay, Andy, I love these questions, right? Because it's like Shakir get everyone in game, right? Coming off a good game. Mike Evans, but better, right? Evan Shakir, if we're saying just talent, it's like this, right? But now opportunity, QB, it's pretty close. Where are you leaning?
I'm still going to go with Mike Evans. There's a lot of mouths to feed in Buffalo. I know Shakir's been a big part of it, but Evans is the guy in Tampa. So I would go Evans. I'd go Evans in this one.
Okay, I agree.
Start your studs.
Start your studs. It's tough to mention Shakir though. So yeah, James Sports Cards again says Baker or Herbert. Okay, I love me some QBs. Nathan, what are we doing? We got Baker. They're head to head, right? So
Yep.
Yeah.
let's assume Ladd plays. I think it's probably just easy Herbert, even though Baker's been great.
Yeah, I would trust Herbert here with the passing volume upticking in LA without Dobbins on the field. Not much more to say there. I like Herbert better as a QB.
I think Baker's the QB5 in the year, but they're both running a bit. But Anthony Chargers defense, that's what nudges you over the line.
Yeah, Herbert's got the better matchup. I like both players, but I'm going to go with the matchup and play Justin Herbert.
Hopefully, you've been playing Baker all season, and then actually maybe Herbert recently. That'd just be tough. I feel like you'd just be wrong every week. Because Baker, they've both been great. That would drive me crazy. Okay. All right. Brett Amos, Jacoby Myers, and Jalen Waddle. No PPR. I mean, Aiden O'Connell. Do we know if he's playing? Oh, Nathan, you should know.
It's Desmond Ridder, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting the go this week.
Gross.
Yeah. He still missed practice as of Friday. And I would trust Waddle more likely to produce. Ridder showed an ability to get the ball to Myers last week, but
Ridder sucks. But Waddle injury, right? I think if healthy, Waddle. Mm-hmm. But right, what's he dealing with? Is it a hammy, a calf? I think it's lower body.
Probably a hamstring.
I don't mess with hamstrings.
I think the no PPR puts me at Waddle. Because Jacoby Myers, I mean, it's Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers in that passing offense, right?
Yeah.
Like they both get peppered with targets, but that doesn't really matter. It's more the yardage and the touchdown, and I just trust Waddle to get that a bit more.
That's true.
With a good quarterback opposed to Desmond Ridder. And we might not actually know who's playing quarterback for the Raiders until Monday night. So that's just tough too.
Plus, we know the no PPR, Ritter's not throwing past the sticks, right? It's all wide receiver screens, little drag routes, right? So Myers might have 9 grabs for 48 yards.
If there was a PPR league, I would like Myers a bit better. But
Waddle's got nothing?
There's no injury designation as of Friday.
I think you just got to go full Waddle here, right? I mean, if you had Aiden O'Connell, if we knew, and maybe probably Jacoby, but let's not mess around here. All right, baby, stay flow. Should I start Judy versus KC, or Dobbs versus Seattle? This is tough, Nathan, but I like your stat there, especially Dobbs. If he takes a bad hit, he could go out again, right? He hasn't played in, 2-3 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
We're taking Judy in the wind?
Yeah, I'll take Judy, but you just acknowledge the floor potential with the weather, and you just take the chance that he has 15 targets with Tillman and Njoku out. That's just too much volume to pass up potentially.
Yeah, easy money, eh?
Nathan, tell me that stat again.
Seattle is the first-ranked defense against non-play action passing plays, but 31st against play action passing plays.
Okay.
And Reed and Watson and mostly Tucker Kraft have been most heavily targeted against or on play action plays.
So what I'm hearing is, in your expert opinion, Dobbs is getting games scripted out this week. So I'm going to go Jerry Jeudy, especially because Njoku's probably not going to play. He hasn't practiced all week. But if I can sneak in a quick question, then Nathan, now I need to know for a matchup of mine, would you start Jaden Reed or Devonta Smith?
Ooh,
I currently have Smith in because I just can't start someone off back-to-back goose eggs. But this play action pass thing, like Jaden Reed is a good receiver. So
yeah, I think that the floor is equally low for these players right now. If AJ Brown does see like a target share domination week in the squeaky wheel narrative, but Reed fit the bill in the play action draws, but he just hasn't been seeing the target share recently. So I would almost lean Devontae Smith, who I think is a more talented wide receiver than Jaden Reed.
Yeah, I think Reed had 3 games previous under 30 yards, so he's got 4 in a row. Like it's just now with Dobbs back, I don't know. I couldn't start Reed, but I'm not optimistic about Devontae. That's tough. They're 2 great wide receivers, and they're both going to kill you.
I currently have Smith in my lineup. So
It's gonna be tough. Okay, Isaiah Pacheco, no. Okay, says Rico Daddle, Jonathan Taylor, full PPR. Okay, Anthony. I mean, this is crazy. Obviously, if we're week 1, we're starting Taylor, but now
Yeah,
Daddle's kind of hot.
Yeah, I just really like Rico Dowdle and the matchup, and Anthony Richardson.
Start your studs though.
Yeah, no, I get it, but Anthony Richardson definitely takes away some of the upside on the goal line. Like I've a couple times I've kind of seen the Colts. I watch a lot of red zone, so I kind of get them in there. If Jonathan Taylor doesn't, he gets the rock on 1st and goal inside the 5, he doesn't get in the end zone. The next play is probably going to be an Anthony Richardson bootleg rollout designed run, and he's probably going to score. So that variable has me leaning Dowdle, who's been playing some pretty good football against a team who I think has allowed over 200 rushing yards in the last 3 games or something along those lines. I think I saw that stat. So
for sure.
I'm going Rico Dowdle.
Rico, okay, Nathan. I mean, since this sounds blasphemous, mentioning Jonathan Taylor for Rico Dowdle, but
it does.
Yeah, I'd just take the volume and the better matchup. Taylor's just not running well. I think under 4.5 yards per carry in 3 straight games, despite the massive volume. Yeah, just take the better running back in a much better matchup.
Okay, so start your studs unless it's Rico Dowdle versus Jonathan Taylor.
There's exceptions to every rule. Come on now.
Of course. Megan Brick forgot to send the question. All right, here we go. Full PPR, sit 1. Okay, Drake London, Jerry Jeudy. Okay, well, we're not sitting him on Raw.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, we're not sitting him on Raw. All right, so Drake London, Jerry Jeudy. I think we had someone similar to this already, Nathan. I think we got to play London.
Yeah, I think it's London and Amon-Ra for sure. Just too scary of a floor with Jeudy, even though the ceiling's massive.
But he says he needs big numbers. So, I mean, Jeudy is the ceiling, right? He's the CN Tower.
I think Amon-Ra and London both have pretty good ceilings. I would bench Jeudy. The floor, I think it's more likely you get the floor than the ceiling. And London against the Raiders and Amon-Ra. I know the Bills are good pass defense, but that game is, I mean, it's the highest over-under of the year. I think they are a pretty good pass defense. But that game is, I mean, this is the highest over-under of the year. Sometimes in matchups like that, it doesn't matter how well the defenses are playing. You're just going to get points up and down the field. So I just like the other players better than Jeudy.
I like the London over Jeudy until he says he needs big numbers because I just Kirk doesn't have a touchdown pass in 4 games, right? Is London more likely to have 2 or Jeudy, right? I think Judy's more likely to hit his ceiling than London, but London's got London's going to get 6 for 70.
So the last time a quarterback didn't have a touchdown pass in 4 games, in my mind, the one we talk about is Patrick Mahomes, right? I think it was the whole month of October. And then as soon as the calendar flipped, or in week 5, 3 touchdown passes.
Okay, and
I think this could be a sneaky get right game for Kirk Cousins and the Falcons offense as a whole.
Okay, it's tough. I mean,
Also want to remember that the Chiefs haven't allowed a 100-yard receiver all year. So if you need a ceiling play, it might not come from this matchup.
That's true. But Jameis is the stat breaker, right? Right.
Yeah, very true.
The Broncos have an awesome defense. All right, they have Surtain, and then obviously Jameis goes for like 450, and Judy is like 230. So, all right. So he says he checked the weather, and that's what he did. Okay, that's good. Oh, I gotta sneeze. 1 sec.
Thanks. I'll go for the no-brainer floor with Warren, even if the matchup is ass. Okay, so it looks like you're gonna roll with Warren from your.
I did that. That Philly matchup isn't great, but okay. We got a few more questions here, and then we're gonna wrap up, guys. So get it in quickly, right? YouTube, come to YouTube from Twitter, or you can even drop a question on Twitter. I'll get to it after. All right, baby, stay flow. Tua Baker. Okay. I mean, how do you bench Tua right now, right, Anthony?
Yeah, I'm going Tua. He's been a top 10 quarterback the past 4 weeks. They play Houston, who Derek Stingley is a pretty good cornerback, but overall, I mean, they have some talent in the secondary, but overall, I don't know if they're a great pass defense. Maybe I'm mistaken there, but either way, you got to stay in the flames with Tua, I think. I just don't see how you bench him at the moment.
If Baker had a better matchup, would you lean Baker? Like if Baker was playing, himself, Tampa?
I might. If Baker had a better matchup, it might make it closer. But as things stand, I'd start Tua.
Okay. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up here. We didn't get to much of our preview or Anthony's preview or any of the bets because we love answering questions, so we can't go wrong. All right, Sir Isaac. This is for Sir Nathan. I got AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Cortland Sutton starting. I need my flex spot filled. Shakir or Sincere? Well, Nathan, you were down on Sincere last week. Have you come around?
It was so great that this is the final question that I get to eat crow on Sincere McCormick. Well, I do like I will admit I was wrong about Sincere McCormick's potential role the rest of the season. It's still in a bad offense. It's just not attached to one that's going to put up a bunch of points. They could not get him into the end zone for the life of him last week. And Shakir's got this great game environment, even though there are more mouths to feed. It's still a better ceiling to be a part of in that offense. We just saw Josh Allen put up 6 touchdowns last week, highest game total on the week. If you need a floor play, it might be McCormick. With Kirk throwing 2 picks a week over 4 weeks, you might get some short fields for the Raiders.
But Shakir catches everything, right? He gets lots of targets too. So
yeah, that's very true. I don't know if it's full PPR or not, but full PPR would probably be a Shakir play here. Guaranteed 5 catches and 50 yards a week almost at this point.
Okay, guys, we are going to wrap up here. Anthony, any bets? Anything jump out at you from the preview that you really, other than Derrick Henry?
Yeah, other than Derrick Henry. So yeah, Bryce Young actually. He's only thrown for 2 touchdowns once this season and hasn't done so in 5 straight games. I think he gets 2+ passing touchdowns today against Dallas. That's my quick pick of that game, and it's plus 150.
Okay. And anything else?
I like Garrett Wilson to go over 5.5 receptions, 105 yards. Tony Pollard under 63.5 rushing yards, minus 130. So I know we answered a question about Pollard and Pacheco and all that. I think I'd probably switch my answer and go Pacheco over Pollard. Pollard can get games scripted out pretty easily. His worst performances are when they're losing by a decent margin.
Which is often.
Yeah, which is often. 6 of his 8 top 24 performances of coming games decided by 7 points or less. So if it's a close game, Pollard's pretty good. If it's going to be a blowout, Pollard's not that good. And I don't know that this game is going to be very close.
Okay, cool. Nathan, before we go, anything jump out at you? Any last recommendations?
I rode with Charbonnet receiving yards parlayed with anytime touchdown. We're plus 236 odds. Line was at 29.5. Packers allow, as I said, this fourth most receptions and sixth most receiving yards to running backs this season. And Charbonnet has, I want to say, 4 or 5 touchdowns in his 3 starts. Feels like a lock.
Okay. Well, that's it for us, guys. We went 75 minutes. Hopefully, we got all your questions. If not, I will jump on Discord. I'll even check Twitter quickly. Anthony, Nathan, thanks for coming on. We got semifinals next week. We'll be rolling. So check us out next Sunday, same time, same place, same channel. And also our Thursday pod where we will make fun of Brian. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Good luck.
All right, everybody.
Peace.